Welcome to Telangana Today. This is Srinivas Reddy and we are going to discuss the most recurring problem that should cause concern for one and all. Imagine flying a drone over Hyderabad, Hussain Sagar, Neknampur, Hashmatpet, Chandan Cheru, Kapra Lake or even Musi. You can find most of them dotted with thick green carpets of plants that look beautiful from far but are slowly killing the lakes beneath them. That plant is WaterHyacinth. And this video is about how it is taking over lakes in Hyderabad, how it grows, why it is dangerous, and what can be done to control it. If you live in Hyderabad, you have definitely seen this plant. From Hussain Sagar to small neighborhood lakes like in Sarur Nagar, Hashmatpet, Chandan Cheru, Kapra Lake, or even Neknampur, floating green mats of WaterHyacinth have become a common sight. It looks harmless, even pretty, but this one plant can clog an entire lake, worsen floods, kill fish and turn water into a stinking cesspool. In this video, let's break down the full story of WaterHyacinth in Hyderabad, where it came from, how it spreads fast and what solutions are working on our lakes. WaterHyacinth, its scientific name is Eichhornia crapses, is a free-floating freshwater plant originally from Amazon basin in South America, not from India. It has thick, shiny leaves, spongy bulb, but stalks which help it float, and attractive purple lavender flowers which are the reason it was the first brought to India as an ornamental plant during the British period. From garden ponds, it escaped into canals and lakes, and today it is listed as one of the world's worst invasive aquatic weeds. The reason WaterHyacinth feels unstoppable is its growth speed. It doesn't depend only on seeds, it mostly spreads vegetatively. One plant sends out runners that create many daughter plants, forming a thick mat that can double its area in as little as about 2 weeks in ideal conditions. Even if you remove the plants, the seeds lying in the mud at the bottom can remain alive for years and sprout again when conditions improve. That's why it keeps coming back after every cleaning drive. What are those ideal conditions? Warm temperatures, still or slow moving water, and lots of nutrients, especially nitrogen and phosphorus from sewage and chemical runoff. Hyderabad's urban lakes receive untreated or partially treated sewage from surrounding colonies, as seen in reports on lakes like Hussain Sagar or Neknampur or Durgam Cheru, where high phosphate and organic pollutions were recorded. One report on Neknampur Lake noted phosphate levels as high as 6.5 milligrams per liter in sewage-filled water, perfect fertilizer for explosive growth of weeds like WaterHyacinth. So the plant is not only the problem, it actually is a symptom of a deeper issue, how Hyderabad's wastewater and encroachments are choking its lakes. At first glance, a green cover on water may look like the lake is healthy, but the reality is the opposite. When WaterHyacinth covers the surface, sunlight cannot reach underwater plants. Photosynthesis drops, and dissolved oxygen in the water falls sharply, sometimes to zero, which can cause mass fish deaths. In Hussain Sagar and other lakes, pollution studies have already shown low oxygen and high organic load, and the hyacinth mat only makes it worse. The weed just does not kill life inside the lake, it also affects people living around it. In Hashmatpet Lake, residents reported flooding in 2020 and 21 because WaterHyacinth blocked the outlet channel. When heavy rains came, the clogged lake overflowed into nearby slums. Clogged outlets, narrow drains, and encroachments together turn a green blanket on the water into a real flood risk during monsoon. The still water trapped inside dense mats becomes a perfect breeding ground for mosquitoes and other disease vectors, raising the public health concern for lakeside communities. So what is being done about WaterHyacinth in Hyderabad's lakes? The Hyderabad Metropolitan Area Development Authority and the GHMC have used a mix of manual labor and machines to physically remove the weed. For lakes like Chandan Cheru, Jillalguda, Sarur Nagar, Rampalli, Neknampur, Kapra, the HMDA and the GHMC procured floating trash collectors similar to the ones used earlier in Hussain Sagar to scoop out the WaterHyacinth and floating waste from the surface. These machines And the long boom excavators can clear large patches quickly, but if sewage flow continues, the plant regrows and the new mats appear within months. At Neknampur Lake, however, residents and NGOs experimented with a more innovative approach, using floating treatment wetlands, artificial islands of plants, to clean the lake. In one project, they cleared nearly 80% of the water hyacinth and retained about 20% in a controlled way to absorb the pollutants. Then use the removed weed as an organic manure by composting it with cow dung. This shows that with careful management, water hyacinth can be turned from a pure nuisance weed into a temporary tool for bioremediation, but only if it is kept under strict control. Recently, authorities have also talked about advanced bioremediation measures for Hussain Sagar, focusing on treating the inflow water so that nutrient levels drop and weeds like hyacinth do not get the fuel they need to grow. Scientists at the ICRISAT have also developed a solar power driven water hyacinth collector. This machine can clear a lake in just about 2 days when it takes over 2 weeks for the manual labor to clear it. But here is one hard truth. Just removing water hyacinth from the surface will never be enough. Long-term control needs 3 parallel actions. First, reducing the pollution, treating the sewage before it enters lakes, fixing defunct STPs, and stopping solid waste and industrial discharge from entering water bodies like Hussain Sagar or Mosi. Second, regular mechanical and manual removal, treating it like city garbage management, not a one-time cleanup drive, but continuous maintenance of lakes, outlets, especially before the monsoon. Third, smart ecological solutions, controlled use of biological control agents, floating wetlands, safe reuse of harvested hyacinth for compost, biogas or handicrafts so that disposal itself does not become a new problem. If Hyderabad can combine all the 3, lakes that are now covered with a suffocating green layer can slowly return to life. Water hyacinth is not just a plant problem. It is a mirror showing how we treat our lakes. If we live near a lake in Hyderabad, you can be a part of the solution by reporting sewage dumping, joining local lake protection groups, and supporting sustained cleanup and restoration efforts. If this video helped you understand what's happening under those green carpets on our lakes, do like, share and subscribe this video. Comment below which Hyderabad lake you want to see free of water hyacinth covered next. What changes you are seeing around it.